All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, one round is in the books of the 2020 NFL Draft, two more on tap for tonight, and then the conclusion with rounds 4 through 7 tomorrow. Now, no doubt that Joe Burrow was going to be the first overall pick of the draft last night. The Cincinnati Bengals see him as their franchise quarterback for the next decade, and now it's time for the Bengals to build around him. We saw Chase Young, the outstanding pass rusher out of The Ohio State University, go to Washington with the second overall pick, the best available athlete heading into the draft, and now Washington is hopeful that they have solidified their pass rush as they look to get back into contention in the NFC East. Now, at pick number 4, the New York Giants did raise some eyebrows in passing on defender Isaiah Simmons and taking tackle Andrew Thomas out of Georgia instead. Now, Simmons at that point was the best athlete available. The Giants have been lacking a playmaker on the defensive side of the ball for some time now, and they decided with Andrew Thomas. Yes, the Giants do have some needs on their offensive line, but I really thought that if New York was going to go with an offensive tackle, they would have went with Tristan Wirfs out of Iowa. Tua Tagovailoa to Miami was a no-brainer at number 5, and that's exactly what the Miami Dolphins did. They are looking to build, and they hope that Tua is going to be their franchise quarterback going forward. But the biggest thing about him, can he stay healthy? We'll have to wait and see. Justin Herbert, the quarterback out of Oregon, going 6th to the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm not surprised about that. I know heading into the offseason, Chargers head coach Anthony Lynn was steadfast in saying that Tyrod Taylor was the starting quarterback, but I did not buy that for a minute. Now, Arizona surprised me at pick number 8. I expected them to take an offensive tackle to protect quarterback Kyler Murray. Instead, they went with Isaiah Simmons. And yes, he is a dynamic playmaker on the defensive side of the ball. But if Kyler Murray is going to be your franchise quarterback, you have to protect him. And the Cardinals do have some issues up front on the O-line. Now, at pick number 9, the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think they reached on Florida cornerback C.J. Henderson. Yes, the Jags did need a cornerback after they traded Jalen Ramsey to the Los Angeles Rams last year, but I didn't see C.J. Henderson going that high. You had some corners on the board that I rated a little bit higher than him, and I thought C.J. Henderson was a guy that could go in the late teens, maybe early 20s, but Jacksonville decided to take him at number 9. At pick number 10, Cleveland got their guy, an offensive tackle, Jedrick Wills. Right now, the Browns are attempting to fix up that offensive line as it was in shambles last year as quarterback Baker Mayfield was running for his life. We saw Cleveland already this offseason sign former Tennessee Titans offensive tackle Jack Conklin, who they're going to keep on the right side. And now you have Jedrick Wills on the left side. And that's good. You have two solid anchors on that line. Now it's time for Cleveland to build on that interior in order to further protect Mayfield. Now, a little shocked with the Jets at number 11 taking Mekhi Becton, the offensive tackle out of Louisville, just for the simple fact that the Jets also needed help at wide receiver. Remember, this club lost wide receiver Robbie Anderson in free agency this offseason to the Carolina Panthers. I really saw them taking, either Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, or CeeDee Lamb right there. But at the same time, the Jets do have a need on the O-line, and they want to protect Sam Darnold, their quarterback, going forward, and Becton will be that guy. Tampa Bay trading up with the San Francisco 49ers to get offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs. Not surprised that Tampa took an offensive lineman because we saw them sign Tom Brady this offseason in free agency. Tom Brady, of course, is an older quarterback, and at the same time, you need to protect his blind side. Tristan Wirfs, to me, was the best offensive tackle heading into this draft. He definitely is the best athlete out of all of the offensive tackles heading into this draft. I'm really surprised that he fell out of the top 10, but Tampa gets a steal right here at number 13. Denver getting wide receiver Jerry Jeudy. Former Broncos quarterback, who is now the current executive VP of football operations, John Elway, is looking to build his team around quarterback Drew Lock. We already saw this team acquire running back Melvin Gordon this offseason to team with Phillip Lindsay in that backfield. And now you're going to get a home run hitter who could stretch the field in Jerry Jeudy. I like the look for the Broncos. Atlanta in the mid-first round reaching on cornerback A.J. Terrell out of Clemson. I thought the Falcons would have done a little bit more for their front seven early on in the first round. They decided to go with A.J. Terrell. He's a guy that I thought would have been available much later in the first round, but they take him here. Dallas got one of the steals of the first round last night in taking wide receiver CeeDee Lamb out of the University of Oklahoma. Dallas did have some needs in the secondary, but at the same time, the talent of CeeDee Lamb was too good for them to pass up on, and they need that guy who can stretch the field. Amari Cooper, to me, has lost a step slightly since he's come into the NFL. Had the hamstring injury a few years ago with Oakland, and he hasn't been the same, but I think CeeDee Lamb is a guy that can definitely stretch the field and be an impact player for the Cowboys from day one. Now, you look at Minnesota at pick number 22, getting wide receiver Justin Jefferson from LSU. This was the pick that the Vikings got from the Buffalo Bills earlier this offseason for trading wide receiver Stephon Diggs. Not surprised that the Vikings went with Justin Jefferson here. I had him going to Minnesota in several of my mock drafts, and it's a situation you trade Stephon Diggs, you get a pick, and you get the opportunity to replace him with another quality wide receiver. Here's a shock right here. The Green Bay Packers trading up to take quarterback Jordan Love out of Utah State. Yes, the Packers still have Aaron Rodgers, but this front office is not attached to Aaron Rodgers. And at the same time, Aaron Rodgers is 36 years of age, and the Packers are looking long-term, and they feel like Love is a guy who they can develop. Now, with the last pick of the first round, we saw the Kansas City Chiefs take running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of LSU. And this is a situation right here where the rich get richer. Already, the Chiefs have plenty of playmakers on that side of the ball. You have another one in Edwards-Helaire. He's a solid blocker in the pass game. He loves to run in between the tackles, and on top of that, he loves to catch the ball coming out of the backfield, and he will definitely get plenty of opportunities in Andy Reid's offense. We saw the New England Patriots trade out of the first round last night, which was a bit of a surprise due to the fact that I had them taking Jordan Love, who eventually did go to the Green Bay Packers. The Patriots did trade back. They're looking to get value, and you never know what Patriots head coach Bill Belichick had or has up his sleeve. Now, some guys that I was expecting to see get drafted last night who did not, but I think most of them will go in the second round tonight. You look at A.J. Epinesa, the fine pass rusher coming out of the University of Iowa. He's definitely a hybrid guy, can be an end in a 4-3 system, can also be an outside backer in a 3-4 scheme. And I look at Epinesa landing potentially with either the New York Giants at pick number 36 tonight or the New England Patriots at pick number 37. You look at Xavier McKinney, the dynamic safety coming out of the University of Alabama. Here's another guy, definitely had a first-round talent. He slipped here. Maybe the Houston Texans look for him at pick number 40. Remember, this was a team that got barbecued in the second half of their playoff loss to the Kansas City Chiefs this past January. Yetur Gross-Matos, the defensive end coming out of Penn State University. This guy, I expected him to go someplace in the early 20s. He did not. Could the Giants be in play for him at number 36? Could the Patriots be in play for him at number 37? Or could he slip and fall further back into the second round? We'll have to wait and see. T. Higgins, the wide receiver out of Clemson, and it is a shock to me that he's still on the board. He could potentially be the first pick of the second round. You look at the Cincinnati Bengals. They took Joe Burrow, their franchise quarterback, last night, but obviously he needs somebody to get the football to. You also look at DeAndre Swift, the running back out of the University of Georgia, and I think this guy could come in and definitely be one of those tandem backs in the NFL. Would Carolina like him at number 38? We'll have to wait and see. You also look at Grant Delpit, the safety out of LSU. I don't think he is as talented a safety as McKinney is, but I definitely expect him to come out there and be an impact player early on for a team looking for him in the second round. And you have the Dallas Cowboys at pick number 51. If he lasts that long, I don't see Dallas allowing him to get past them. Zach Bond, the edge rusher from the University of Wisconsin. This is another guy right here who I think could be in play for the New York Giants at pick number 36. If not, he could slip back a little bit further into the second round. Maybe Atlanta at pick number 47. Then there's Josh Jones, the offensive tackle out of the University of Houston. This guy is huge. This guy is massive, and he knocks people out of the way. Cincinnati could be in play with the first pick of the second round. They just took Joe Burrow, and you definitely want to protect him. You also look at the Indianapolis Colts, who are yet to pick, and they picked second in the second round. They have a veteran quarterback in Phillip Rivers, and you definitely want to protect his blind side. You also look at Cole Kmet, the outstanding tight end coming out of Notre Dame. Could Dallas be in play for him at pick number 51? Could the Los Angeles Rams, who have yet to draft, be in play for him at pick number 52? Or could the Chicago Bears even look for him at pick number 43? We'll have to wait and see. Denzel Mims, the dynamic wide receiver coming out of Baylor. Somebody is going to get a steal here in the second round with this guy. I expected the Jets to be in play for a wide receiver in round number 1. They didn't. They went O-line. If Mims is there, I don't see the Jets passing on him at pick number 48. You also look at Curtis Weaver, the solid outside linebacker coming out of Boise State, the Mountain West Conference's Defensive Player of the Year, a little undersized at 6'2", which could see him slip out of round number 2 and possibly into round number 3. But whoever gets him and puts him in the right system, they're definitely going to get themselves a quality player. And you also look at Cam Akers, the running back coming out of Florida State. I think this is another guy that could be a tandem back. I could see him going to the Rams at pick number 52. Remember, this team parted with Todd Gurley this offseason. You also look at the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe they're getting tired of Ezekiel Elliott. We'll have to wait and see at pick number 51, or even the Pittsburgh Steelers at pick number 49 in the second round, due to the fact that James Conner has been unable to stay healthy. We saw some trades going towards the end of round number 1 last night. I think that's even going to build up a little bit more in round number 2 tonight, just due to the fact that there are so many quality players who really should have gone in the first round that are still on the board. So I think there's plenty of excitement to look forward to tonight for rounds 2 and 3 of the NFL draft. So folks, that's going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. If you have not already, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. Tell all your friends and family about it, as we want to definitely get those numbers up. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me on 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. Take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.